Those countertops when it comes to felines and misbehavior. Keeping your pet off the countertop, more specifically the kitchen countertop, can be quite the struggle at times, especially if you have a young, healthy, and curious cat. But I am here to offer you hope. If you follow the steps that I'll provide in this video, I think you'll find your stress lifted and your cat a bit less lifted up on that countertop space. Keeping your cat on the kitchen floor rather than on the kitchen counter. That's the goal for today. And I've got the steps to follow, and they're coming right up. Stay tuned. As I say quite often here at Senior Cat Wellness, it's not about getting your cat to understand right from wrong. It's about getting your cat to do something, anything, based on your standards, your rules. It's not about what your cat understands. It's about what your cat actually does. And with that foundation in place, if the objective is to keep your cat off those countertops, I advise that you try these methods as a form of training. I think you'll find long-term success. In order to get your cat to play your game, you pretty much have to understand theirs. You have to think like a cat. We all know that cats love high places, a bookshelf, the back of your sofa, a table, that countertop. And the first line of defense that I'll offer up today is to provide your cat with a safe alternative to that countertop. Let your pet have their way, just let them have it somewhere else. If all they want to do is get high up, provide a way that they can do it that just doesn't involve getting their fur in the ground beef that you are preparing for dinner. Every situation is different, so I will respectfully let you decide the alternative, but anything that is safe, that's the ticket. Let them check out this area that you've selected, let them stand on it, relax on it, perhaps even nap on it, depending on what it is, and then reward them with treats when they visit that spot on their own. A little bit of this and a whole lot less of that as in your countertop. Instead of making everything off limits, every high perch, give your cat an option that is to your approval. Another measure is to take a defensive stance. Sometimes you just have to do the obvious. If you don't want your cat on the countertop, make the countertop as off limits and as unappealing as possible. Cats have some crazy hops, as the cool kids might say. They can jump like LeBron James on a fast break. But I'll bet you money that LeBron isn't leaving the ground if that landing spot is littered with something that would make for a questionable landing. If the countertop is cluttered and your cat looks up and seems rather unsure, it would likely turn them off. Cookbooks, silverware, a crock pot, just anything that you'd find in the kitchen. Set up what I like to call a controlled mess. If there's nowhere to go, your cat will pretty much have no choice than to seek an alternative. Sometimes the best defense is defense itself. Other measures, non-kitchen items, can include the use of tape, the double-sided variety, and one that seems as old as time itself, and that's a floor runner. That nice piece of plastic that protects the carpet, one side is smooth, but that other side is rather spiky. That's obviously by design to grip the carpet. Take a small piece if possible, and give it a flip. Once your cat jumps up and feels those rubber spikes, they won't be too pleased. Those spikes are safe. They're certainly not comfortable. And how about this one? Safe yet scented cleaning agents. I mean, you're cleaning those countertops anyway. Might as well use something with a scent that is unattractive to your pet. Most cats are not too fond of strong citrus. Some cats, well, they just can't stand vinegar. As long as it's safe, yet effectively stinky, your cat won't be too pleased, and that's pretty much the goal here. That countertop isn't fun if it smells a bit too funky. Keep in mind, strong citrus, for example, it's pretty much the equivalent of a garbage pile to a cat. Now let's step away from the countertop, totally out of the kitchen. Let's get down to the possible root of things. If your pet loves that countertop, there's a chance this love is due to the fact that something is missing. Your cat is using the countertop because they're not getting something else. Playtime, mental, physical. Let your cat flex those instincts. If your cat's batteries are charged, but there's just no place to release that energy, your pet will sort of get in where they fit in. The bookcase, the countertop. They'll look for places to act up a bit because they're lacking playtime, mental and physical enrichment. Many times just taking 15 to 20, perhaps 25 minutes out of your day, each day, and engaging with your pet in a positive way, it can stop some of this negative behavior. It'll make them a bit tired for sure, that's sort of a given. But it will also quell that desire to want to be a little extra, as they say, simply because they're now quite satisfied. If your cat just had a play session with you, they'll be less likely to jump on the kitchen counter and salt those pork chops. And before I close things out for this video, I mentioned it earlier, just in passing, but when your cat is acting right and doing what you want them to do, step in with those rewards. No measure, regardless of which one you decide, no measure really has much of a bite, too much staying power. There's no true incentive to continue down this proper path. It's really all about changing your cat's focus. Change that mindset. Felines, it's really a game of what's in it for me. And that's pretty much what cats are thinking about all day, even subconsciously. How can I put myself in a position to get the most out of the situation, whatever that situation is? If your cat stops jumping on the counter, recognize it and reward it. Over time, the desire to ever revisit the countertop will diminish. I get treats when I don't get on that counter, you say? And I get a hard time when I do. It won't take long for a cat to realize where the positive lies. The jump on the countertop is nothing but wasted energy if there's really nothing to show for it. No end game. Whatever measure you decide to take, any of the ones that I've mentioned here today, or perhaps a mixed bag of a few things that I've noted in this video, whatever you decide, stick with it. At least until you have a good feeling that your cat is no longer eager to get on the counter. Shift that mindset, make sure there's a strong and positive change. Don't put that carpet runner, for example, on the countertop for, say, 72 hours and then take it away. If your cat has been jumping up there for months, it's going to take more than a few days to change that behavior. Allow your cat to embrace the change and give it time. It's sort of like sports. You don't practice until you get it right, you practice until you can't get it wrong. Keep the countertop measures in place until it becomes clear that your cat is no longer interested in making that jump. Curious cats need patient owners. It's going to be your job to trust your game plan and be consistent with your strategy. And to the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, I'll now turn things right on over to you. Does your cat love to live on those countertops? Have you tried a few things with little to no success? On the flip side, have you found the trick that works? Do you now have the Midas touch when it comes to solving your cat's negative tendencies? Your thoughts and personal stories, that comment section as always. It's all yours. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching. And I will talk to you later.